Let's talk about the main reason, because I see Deb's about ready to blow her top. I can see in the comments here, because she's where we're going to here with the defense. And I think the big thing we got to drive home is prevent defense BS. Like it's gotta be figured out.
To prevent the win is what it is.
Yeah, like we're preventing the win, exactly. And you know what I hate is I rewatched the end of the game, which first off killed me. Like, I didn't have a full chance to go with the full 22, but I wanted to rewatch the end specifically. And I'm watching the end of it. The second to last play, is the one that really pisses me off the most. And we got to talk about the fact that of Brian Burns, and we'll get to his thing in a minute, because I'm glad he did what he did, even though he probably didn't intend to do it the way he did it. But
yeah, I don't think so.
Second to last play, you put 3 on trying to pressure the quarterback. You drop 8 back into coverage. You literally put Dexter Lawrence and Abdul Carter on the bench. And this is leaving aside the first, 28, 29 points you've given up already at that point. Like we're not even getting into that part right now. This is just the end specifically that is a microcosm of the problems basically with this Giants defense, basically. So you put 3 into pass rush, you put 8 into coverage, you take Dexter Lawrence, you put him on the bench, you take Abdul Carter, you take him out, you put him on the bench. And what do? You bring in guys like Bo Braid.
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, you want your best results, you put your best players out on the field.
You tell me how is any chance in hell that Bo Braid is a better player to have when it counts, when the game is on the goddamn line, than Dexter Lawrence or Abdul Carter?
My God.
Like, it's absolutely insanity. And what pisses me off more than anything else is this is the second game we've had this problem. We did the same goddamn thing against the Cowboys. And listen, I know there's some people who may go, oh, well, if you put everybody in coverage, there's no receiver that's wide open. No, when you put everybody in coverage and you stop having any kind of pass rush, you're giving people all the time in the world to get open because they have 5 guys blocking 3. Like, it is the dumbest goddamn thing ever. And to have it happen twice now and cost us the game twice is utterly goddamn ridiculous. And then on top of that, and again, I know I've been low on Daboll forever. I don't know if it's the term low on Daboll. Everybody says high on. We're low on Daboll. But to see Brian Daboll yelling at Shane Bowen, who quite frankly need to be yelled at, but not by him. You're the goddamn coach. You okayed this. You're listening in, and you okayed this again. This is on Brian Daboll as much as it's on Shane Bowen. And 100%. I know he's not a defensive guy. I get that. But as an offensive guy, you still understand the basics of defense, because guess what you do as an offensive guy? You go against defenses. You have to go against the defense. You understand basics of defense. You may not be the guy who's going to scheme a defense, but you still understand it. So for him to sit there and say, after the game and start flipping out, you allowed that play. You allowed back-to-back plays of prevent defense with 3 guys and then 4 guys, instead of actually going after the quarterback and pressuring him and forcing a quarterback who, quite frankly, played like crap for most of the game to go ahead and get hurried and make a bad throw. And on top of that, going ahead and allowing a situation where you force him maybe to go ahead and get rushed, and maybe he makes a bad throw. Maybe the receivers don't even get it because they've been dropping the ball left and right. But instead, you let him get comfortable. You let him sit back there for all the time in the world he wants. And instead, this is what happens now: is you have a quarterback that had all the time in the world. You had guys that are wide open because Any receiver, no matter how deep we're covering, will find a way to get open if you give enough time. That's life.
100%.
Even
And
Jalen Hyatt. Well, maybe not Jalen Hyatt, but anybody else but Jalen Hyatt.
pretty much. Listen, the Denver has a pretty good offensive line. And just with 4 in the front, we had a pretty good track record of getting there and putting pressure on Bo. Why would you stop that?
Yeah.
Why? That's the biggest thing. Like, why would you take the pressure off him? It worked for 3 to 3.5 quarters. The pressure worked.
Yeah.
Why would you let it go that tempo? It makes absolutely no sense.
And just here's another interesting thing when I saw when I rewatched it. Because you're watching it live, you're looking at you're more freaking out what's happening as opposed to looking to see who effed up here, who did this, and everything. The second to last play, we only rushed 3 people. You know who the receiver caught the ball on? Deonte Banks. And you watch Deonte Banks when that play's over, just standing there like, doo, doo, like not knowing what the hell to do.
What happened?
Like, I'm so sick of seeing this kid on the goddamn field. It's not even funny. He needs to sit on the bench the rest of this year, or just cut him or trade him. Get rid of him.
Yeah,
because he does you no good whatsoever. And there was no fire. There was no fire whatsoever. I'm telling you, you can tell a lot by a player when things are going right, but you can find a whole lot more when things are going wrong. And for him to give up a big play like that, to stand there like no emotion, no being pissed off, no trying to pump up the team after that, just
yeah, looking like the Swedish Muppet.
And I see Anthony traded for what, a sack of potatoes. Yes, I'll take a sack of potatoes. I might even give you half the sack of potatoes back even. Like, I don't care. Just get rid of this kid.
Listen, we'll cover part of his salary. Like, get rid of him. Just get him gone. Go.
How much did this defense change when Deonte Banks went in for Paulson Adebo? Seriously. And I'm not even trying to just pick on the kid to be a jerk. Like, I'm being honest here. Like, how much did that defense change when Paulson Adebo got out and Deonte Banks went in?
Oh, 100%. That was the big shift in the momentum. Like, what's Adebo left? It's not good.
It's not. And then, on top of that, the touchdown that was, the one that bobbled and got knocked in it for a touchdown. Guess who that touchdown was also on? Deonte. That was
Banks. Wow.
No, but here's the thing, the ball is up in the air. You, as an NFL player, are supposed to be doing what? What are you always supposed to keep your eye on? The ball. And you know what? The receiver did his damn job, and he kept denying the ball, and that's why he caught in the end zone. But instead, Deonte Banks, again. I'm just done with him.
Yeah, I've been done with him. It's done.
Like, I just don't get it. Like, everything. And it's just like, at what point do the Giants give up on him? And the sad thing is, that means you sit there and you give up on him. You're giving up on Jalen Hyatt. You're giving up on Evan Neal. But you know what? At this point, give up. I'd have more respect for you for giving up and admitting your mistake than trying to trot the schmuck out here.
It's hard to admit that you made a mistake. No one wants to do it. But Shane, Daboll, you guys are supposed to be leaders. And part of it is doing dirty work and admitting that you made a mistake and getting the respect by the other players on the team by admitting you made a mistake and getting rid of the mistake and getting other players to step up.
Yeah. Art Green would do better. Art Green would do better than Deonte Banks. And don't get me wrong, who is Art Green?
Exactly. But like I'm saying, you keep trying out these players that can't do and won't do. Like, in business, as a leader, there's the can't do's and the won't do's. These guys are both.
Yeah, it's
like they won't and they can't.
It's just absolutely pathetic at this point. And this prevent defense has to go, and Deonte Banks, point blank, has to go. And you've seen it with Art Green. He went in when he was in the Baltimore Ravens game a couple years ago. and he didn't look horrible. And don't get me wrong, I don't think he's a great corner. He wouldn't be on the bench otherwise. But Banks, point blank, is only getting the plays because of where he got drafted. If it wasn't for Cordell Flott looking so good right now, they'd probably be flipping back and forth. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a frustrating thing to watch because we finally get an offense that's rolling. We'll get to that in a minute because I do want to give you guys some positivity in this. I don't be all 100% negative. We finally get an offense that's rolling, though. And instead, you end up with the defense that literally breaks NFL records for futility. Literally, the Broncos broke a record by scoring the most points in a fourth quarter in the history of the NFL after being shut out the first three.
Yeah, in regulation.
Yeah. Now that's not a good fourth quarter. So that's regulation. But it's like that's not a good thing for either side
in regular season.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, regular season. Okay. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like the problem again we run into, and I don't want to beat the dead horse. We've talked about this part of it before, but it's just like there's not options on this coaching staff. Marquand Manuel is probably the best option, and he should be there. And we said it yesterday. I'm not shocked there was no news today about Shane Bowen being fired like he should have been, point blank. But until the Giants do something here, guys, they're going to continue having problems like this, and they're going to have problems in the locker room because it's already starting. There was openly people saying we sat down with Shane Bowen and discussed the defense with him. Now they said nice things about him, including Kayvon, obviously. But the fact that the Giants players had to sit down with them and go over all these things, that's an issue. Then you get Brian Burns in the tunnel yesterday after the game, flipping out over the fact that they dropped 8 into coverage. Flipping out. Like openly. That's not something you do the first time you disagree with a call. That's not something you do with a coach you have respect for. And again, let me be clear. I am not knocking Brian Burns for this. I'm very glad he did it.
Yeah, listen, he played for the Panthers and has no videos like that coming out for the Panthers that I found.
Yeah.
So he's used to losing and bad coaching.
And he's having the best year of his career right now. He's literally, I think he's the NFL leader in sacks now.
I don't know if he is. He's damn near, I think, top 3. I don't think he's top. But 9 sacks in 7 weeks. That's
he's got 4 in the last 2 games. I mean, it's insanity. And to get that kind of performance wasted, it's got to be frustrating for him. As I'm trying to look it up real quick for you to verify who. But yeah, like I said, it's absolute insanity to see what's going on. We're finding new ways to lose left and right on the kicking game part, but then you get this, and this is the old way to lose. This is why we lost a couple weeks ago. How many times did it have to happen for us to see it? And he is tied for the lead in the NFL, by the way.
Okay.
I did look and confirm. Him and Brian Young of the Rams, they're tied at 9. By the way, beating out Nick Bonito, who was shut out yesterday, who has 8. So like I said.
So then that makes sense. Going into this week, he probably, was at 3.
Yeah. Like I said, I just don't like what I'm seeing there. And by the way, Burns left in a boot at the end of the game too. And it hasn't been talked about much today, but I heard yesterday after we were done recording our post-game live reaction that he was leaving in a boot.
Yeah, he definitely had that ankle taped up to all high health. Like you can see it on the field. There was even that one, I think it was about 8 minutes into the fourth quarter where it was slow to get up.
Yeah. And I also got to give little kudos to Brian Burns as well. He's also leading the league in tackles for loss, by the way. So he's top 5 in QB hits as well. So this is not him just doing one thing.
Yeah, it's a career year thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. So
thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please.